A new year, a new lease for Seattle's most expensive penthouse apartment. You just saw the Smith Tower behind Brady here. There's an apartment all the way at the very top of the spire. And the California man now paying the astronomical rent says he moved here because despite the challenges downtown, he and many others believe the future is bright.
Once the tallest building west of the Mississippi, today more than a century after it was built, Seattle's historic Smith Tower still adds a spice of character to the Seattle skyline. Below on the downtown streets, challenges abound with rising crime, rampant drug use, and small businesses fed up and moving out. In Smith Tower,
I embraced the building, and I think the building embraced me back.
Bruce Cornelius is still betting on a bright future for the city. The tech CEO just signed a new 3-year lease for the 2,100 square foot space here in the 37th and 38th floors of the Smith Tower.
Oh, I love it. It's iconic. It catches your eye when you're coming down the highway.
It's not cheap, at around $14,000 a month. It's believed to be the most expensive unit in the city. But Cornelius wants to be at the center of the future of Seattle.
I found some, discovered some great restaurants, great stores. They're going strong, so I think it can only get better.
Listing broker Moira Holly says Cornelius is part of a growing trend.
There's a resurgence, I would say, renaissance happening downtown.
This year, Seattle hit 100,000 residents living downtown, continuing a 10-year trend of being one of the nation's fastest growing cities. Growth downtown grew around 10%. Even during the pandemic. According to some estimates, new residents are filling up apartments and condos at record levels. The overall vacancy rate was cut in half year over year, from 8% of units empty last year to just 3% today.
Seattle itself is too great to fail, and it's going to follow suit with the other major metro areas.
Dean Jones, co-founder of Realogic Sotheby's International, suggests history is bound to repeat itself as we rebound from another pandemic.
As the masks come down and business is up, I think there'll be a repopulation of the city, and we're going to see a new era.
And because of supply chain issues and economic uncertainty, no new projects broke ground last year, and none are anticipated for the next 1 to 2 years. Quite the change from what we've seen this past decade.
Given the lack of new supply, we're anticipating pretty significant rent hikes. Now with the lifting also of the eviction moratorium, there is some nervousness amongst tenants out there.
More crime, more murders. That doesn't seem to lend itself to me as a renaissance. What am I not seeing?
Well, what might not be seen with some of those other news stories is that we are repopulating the job center, we're repopulating the apartment building, and that means more stakeholders, more eyes on the streets, more support, and frankly, more grassroots pressure for the new mayor's organization to take this seriously.
Bruce Cornelius is banking on a bright future for his new city.
Relatively speaking, I think we have a good thing here.
And he'll be watching from one of the most scenic views in town.
We got to crawl all the way up into that little glass ball there at the top. Oh my goodness, if you're afraid of heights, that's not for you. But there are 4 big developments for residents downtown right now, at least the big skyscrapers. Developers say they are selling those units out quickly. And as Dean Jones just mentioned there, if people are moving downtown in larger numbers, that's more eyeballs on the street. And with all the challenges, which we do have a lot of challenges on the streets that need to be addressed, this is another way to get more ownership and to clean up the streets.
And it's clearly not keeping people away from moving into the downtown core.
Yeah, and like we saw, the Roaring 20s, they called it the Roaring 20s way back when because they came out of a pandemic. That's kind of part of the cycle. At least that's the hope.
Some encouraging news this morning. Now I want to get to the top of Smith Tower. I know there's a bar up there as well.
He's a great guy.
Yes, check that out on a nice sunset.
My wife has been there and says it's lovely, but she's never taken me. But, someday, perhaps.
Someday.